And we back. We back. I'm I'm slightly depressed. I'm slightly depressed because for one I'm recording on my phone again. But I'm depressed because I just been watching a bunch of travel content all day. I'm watching a bunch of travel content all day. And I'm not on a plane right now. I'm not going to a different country. I'm not going to a different city. I'm depressed. I want to travel. I really, really want to travel. But delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. That's the move right now. I'm dedicated to my plans and what I got going on. And unfortunately, I can't travel right now. I can't travel. So I'm here. I'm about to be, I'm about to go through this next episode, episode 43. It is 7, my laptop about to die. It is, sorry about that, child. It is 7:21. It is 8:28. So it's August 28th. It's 7:21 p.m. And yeah, this is it. This is life. I'm about to get into this next episode. Might waffle a little bit because I'm in a good space. Even though I'm not traveling, I'm here. I'm grinding. I'm thugging it out. I'm doing what I gotta do to get to the point to where I can just travel freely and do whatever I want. Um, I'm content. I'm happy with the process. I'm living. I can't tell y'all to do something that I'm not doing myself. So I've told y'all in the past to respect the journey and love the journey just as much as the destination. And I'm loving the journey. So it is what it is. This one is titled. Well, this is one. Let me be respectful. This is 100 Simple Life Truths. I am your host. This is episode 43 out of 100. Episode 43 out of 100, and this one is called "Fewer Expectations, Fewer Disappointments," which it seems like it might be repetitive to one of the other episodes that I did, which I think was episode 27. When you, what was it called? Let me go back in the book. It's episode 37. The more we let go, the more we gain. Nah, maybe not the same. Maybe not the same. But I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna make this one pretty short and sweet. Pretty short and sweet. It's episode 43, fewer expectations, fewer disappointments. And it goes like this. We all have expectations, and I would be delusional. I would be a delusional idealist to promote a life without them. Rather, we can, at the very least, use our disappointments to recognize the root of our expectations. Sometimes we may find that having expectations isn't wise or realistic or even necessary. Control your expectations. I wouldn't say not to have expectations, but we're all going to have expectations. Just control them. Control them, and don't expect you from other people. Don't expect you from other people. Just I don't want to say don't have expectations. Have expectations, because if you have no expectations, you accept anything, and you don't want to just be out here accepting anything. Have boundaries, have expectations, and but have fewer expectations, but more concrete expectations, if that makes sense. So don't expect a lot from people, but expect a little bit, but expect very specific expectations, specific things, if that makes sense. Maybe that'll make sense as I think about it a little bit more. I still have expectations of people professionally and personally, and both still tend to let me down. We're always going to get let down. You can't expect you from other people, and you can't expect other people from other people, because people change. People are fickle. People are fickle. So just, I guess, not necessarily learn the person, or just don't have the expectations. Listen to what the guy is saying. If the behavior is repeated into a pattern, it's on me to pay attention. I try my best never to play victim, because there's no empowerment in feeling like one. Blame and power go hand in hand, and giving it away may not be the best choice. So yeah, never blame people for being who they are. It's up to you to have the discernment of who the person is. Have the discernment of who the person is. Learn the people that surround you. Learn if they can live up to the expectations you have of them. If they can't live up to the expectations you have of them, let them go on. But now I need a deal with our ass bomba clap fuckery, you see me? So let them go. Let them go. And that goes into one of the other episodes. If people aren't meeting your expectations, if things aren't meeting your expectations, your job isn't meeting your expectations, the thing will dash away, you see me? When someone lets us down, we can take the time to figure it out if we want to allow that to happen again. After all, the past is just that, the past. We can only focus on improving the choices in our present to hopefully have a better future. Correct. I'm very gun ho on the present, building the future. What happens in the past, we learn from it, we let it go, we adapt, and we move accordingly in the present. And we let the future be the future. Now, we can work towards a better future, right? But we have to live in the present because, like I said, I feel like a couple times today, which I recorded the last 3 episodes today, last 4 episodes. This is the 4th episode I'm recording today. But when we have these expectations of people and we get let down, we gotta just let it be what it is. Take it for what it is, and don't be so defeated by it. Because at the end of the day, while you're wallowing in that disappointment, life is passing you by. And your present is the present. You need to make the best out of your present because you don't know what the future holds. And the better you make your present, the better your future will be. The more you learn now, the more you'll learn, or the more you'll have in the future. You know what I mean? The better understanding you'll have in the future. So I guess that goes into expectations. You can expect the best. You can expect the best, but don't sew yourself to it. Expect the best and be content with the worst. You know what I'm saying? So of course we want the best out of everything, but if we get let down, don't let that stop you. Don't be so defeated by it. Simple as that. I know some of you reading this have been deeply hurt by people. Within that pain are jewels of wisdom that can put you in a position to not repeat the same fumbles. I don't know what that means. Foibles. Maybe I should look that up. It's spelled Foibles. I've never seen that word before. Whatever. Our heart is very resilient and it will survive even when someone steps all over it. It's true. Which is true. We've all been through heartbreak. I did an episode on heartbreak. We've all been through disappointment. We've all been through failures and losing, and we've all been through it. And guess what? We still here. We grew through it. We grew through it, and we went through it. We grew through it, and now we're here, and we're better. May not feel like we're better because some of us are still holding on to that past trauma, holding on to those past letdowns, the past heartbreak, still holding on to it. But once you let those things go, you let the past go, you respect it for what it was, you understand it for what it was, and then you just let it go. Let it go. Keep it in you, but don't keep it in you, if that makes sense. Keep it in you, but don't keep it in you in terms of don't be so affected by it until you gotta use the lesson you learn from it. So you go through your first heartbreak, you see how that situation unfolded, and then you go through life, you understand it, you go through life, and if things start to trigger that and things start to come back to where you feel like it's gonna happen again, you move accordingly because you have the lesson. You have the lesson of what caused it the first time. And of course, every situation is not the same. No man can step in the same river twice, because not only is the river always ever flowing, which is the universe is always ever flowing, it's always changing, time is always moving, but us as humans, us as creatures are always changing as well. We lose, our skin is always changing, our mind is always changing, our thought process, our beliefs, everything is always changing. So no one man can step in the same river twice. So no two relationships that you have are going to be the same. They may have the same outside image, and some of the things might trigger you, or they might feel the same, but it's not the same. So you have to move, you have to adapt to each situation, and although they may be the same, it's different. It's different. So you take the lesson and you learn from it. You learn from it, but you keep that lesson with you. You keep the lesson with you. Get rid of the heartbreak and get over the disappointment, the trauma, but keep the lesson. It's easier said than done. Trust me. Trust me. It's easier said than done. I've been in situations where I just been completely broken, completely hurt, and I have got the lessons from it. I'm not hurt by it anymore. I got the lessons from it though. I understand where I went wrong. I understand where the situation went wrong, and I know what to do better for the next time if it ever comes back up. If a similar situation ever comes back up. He goes on to say, for my readers who have taken a few extra laps around the sun, you know this all too well. Yes, I'm older. A lot of who the last person that it was I was at work and I was talking to one of my coworkers. And he was like, he asked me how old I was, and the dude thought I was 22. I'm like, what are you talking about? Is this like a joke or something? Because I don't understand why people think I'm so young. I'm actually not in my 20s. I'll leave it at that. But it just throws me off. Uh, who have taken an extra few laps around the sun. Again, I'm not young. I've been through a lot of things. I'm still going through a lot of things. I still have a lot of things to go through. So yeah, whatever. That's a sidebar. Things that feel like the end of our world really are. We can all be a bit over dramatic, and we need to realize we're harming no one but ourselves. Exactly. That kind of goes into never live the same thing twice. Never live the same thing twice. Like, you're going through heartbreak, go through it once, understand it, and once you're done, don't go back reliving it. Don't go back reliving it. It is what it is. It happened. It's part of who you are now. It's part of who you are. Things that feel like you said, things that feel like the end of our world really are, because you're still here. I'm still here. You're still listening. We lived through it. We grew through it, and now we here. And now we here. So for that, I feel like he's just pretty much saying, don't live the same thing twice. Don't be over dramatic, and realize we need to realize we're harming no one but ourselves. Because wherever that heartbreak came from, even if you got fired from a job, them people don't care about you. You get out of a relationship, that person may have cared about you, but they're different now. They moved on. They don't care about you anymore. They may care about you, but in a different dynamic. Something's changed to where you're not together anymore, right? You may whatever disappointment if a friend may betray you. You may thought that friend cared about you, loved you, but obviously they don't. Are you gonna sit there and beat yourself up over it, be dramatic, and you know what I mean? You can only be accountable for your own actions. You can't be accountable for everybody else's actions. If they betrayed you, that's their loss. You know to continue to be who you are, continue to do the best that you can. You know not to do that what they did to you to someone else, because you have the power to control how other people see you, so to speak, to a certain extent. There's nuances to it, but to a certain extent, come as authentically as you are into the world, and be as truthful and be honest with people, and how they feel about you doesn't really matter. How you feel about yourself is what matters, and you can't let someone else's actions towards you depict how you feel about yourself. That's backwards. That's completely backwards. You have to have the 100% confidence in yourself, no matter who comes into your life and who leaves your life, what situations people put you in, and what situations you put yourself in. At the end of the day, you have to be your own best friend. You have to be your biggest supporter. You have to be your biggest critic as well. Because if you're not criticizing yourself and the things that you do, how are you going to grow? And it's hard to criticize yourself because you only know one thing. Sometimes you only see one way. The beauty of me is I can step back and I can see where I'm wrong. And this is where I'm trying to help, not necessarily you guys, but understand better for myself, is that I can see both sides of pretty much a lot of situations, and I understand when I'm wrong. I admit when I'm wrong. The goal is to be wrong less. Is to be wrong less, and to take accountability when you are wrong. And when you are done wrong, take accountability in the fact that you put your trust in someone that shouldn't have been trusted. And then you have that discernment. Now you've built up discernment. You've built up being able to see people's character. And that goes into one of the other episodes that I did, where you have to be okay with losing people. Because if you're losing yourself to keep people in your world, you're not even giving them the best version of yourself. Because something within you is lost. Something within you is lost that you're keeping them, who's not beneficial to you or toxic to you. You're losing yourself by keeping them in your life. And I feel like this may be a sidebar. It may not really pertain to what this is talking about, but it's what it is. It's what I feel like saying. It's what I believe. It's my truth. It is what it is. So don't lose yourself by trying to keep people in your life that don't want to be kept. And a lot of people, they put on a facade. It's hard to have discernment, but over time, and you can only give your best for as long as you can give it. Everyone has a breaking point. Everyone has a point to where it's like, you know what, I realize that this is not the best thing for me. Whether that's a job, a friend, family, relationship, your car, your house. If it's not benefiting you, if it's not adding to your life, let it go. Don't expect it to adapt to what you want. There it is. There's the key. There's the correlation. Don't expect it. Fewer expectations lead to fewer disappointments. Don't expect things to adapt to the way you want it to be in your life. Don't. Because there's people out there that you don't even realize have expectations of you, and you might be failing them. Simple as that. He goes on to say, the responsibilities involved in your heart rely solely on you. Yes, you have to mind your own heart. You can't put your heart in the hands of other people. Can't put your heart in the hands of other people. You have to mind your own heart. The responsibilities involved with your heart rely solely on you. Don't put yourself in a position where others can damage you. And if you do, which you will, learn from those mistakes so they hopefully don't happen again. 100%. There's nothing I need to add on to that. He pretty much summed it up. Don't put yourself in a situation to where other people can damage you. Like, understand that people are fickle. People change. People are heartless. You know what I mean? Just don't do that to other people, and realize that people could change at any moment. So don't be so tied down to what an expectation of somebody, because they can change. And then once you tie down to you identify with what that person brought to your life or how that person displayed themselves. Once they let you down, trying to untie that is hard. It's hard. And they say, in order to heal a wound, you have to put pressure on it. When you untying something, you're letting the pressure go. You're gonna bleed out. Like if people are, let's say, bandages to your wounds, you're expecting to keep them there, because once you take it off, you're gonna bleed out. You have to be able to heal your own wounds. So you have to be able to be your best friend before anybody else is your best friend. This also goes into being comfortable with being alone. It goes into being okay with solidarity, with not solidarity, solitude. It goes into being okay with solitude. And I'm not saying move in fear based that, oh, everybody that's in your life is going to betray you at some point. No, give everything your all at all times, because if you're not giving it your all, you're creating the problem. You're creating the problem, because if you're not giving your all, they're going to realize you're not giving your all, and then they're going to the roles are going to be reversed. They're going to get rid of you before you get rid of them. So always give your all in every situation, but also have the discernment to know that if something changes, if they switch on you, or you switch on them, and it just doesn't pan out to be whatever you envision it to be, then you're not damaged by that. It's a lesson learned. Take the positive out of it. The 90-10 rule. Take the positive out of it. Focus on the positive. And there's plenty of positives of people disappointing you, because now you know the truth, and now you can move with the new lesson. And now you're not held back, or you're not wasting your time giving your all to someone that was never capable of giving you their all, or a job not giving you its all, a friend, family, anything. Simple as that. Pay attention to the actions over words. They're always more revealing. Exactly.
Which airline has handled an extremely negative video I made about them
Oh
the
my
best?
God.
I recently made a viral video about how most airlines react.
Damn. Damn. The freaking ad just played. But yeah, it says pay attention to the actions over words. They're always more revealing. 100%. 1000%. People gonna say whatever they're gonna say, but how are they moving? Are they actions matching their words? Simple. Are they actions matching their words? And if it's not, figure out which one is the telltale truth. Because some people lie. Some people lie and think that they're lying to make themselves look better, but they're making themselves look worse, and they're actually a really genuine person. It's rare that you see people lie and not realizing that they're lies, that they're trying to fit in, so they're lying about things that don't make them look good, but they're really a genuine person. You can say, like, let's say, if you ever seen the movie 8 Mile, right? And you knew Papa, is it Papa Doc? Whatever the guy is that he battled at the end. I forgot his name. But he was a decent dude. He grew up in a 2-family household. His parents still together. He went to Cambridge, a private school. Everything was good. But he was lying to fit in, and he was being a rapper and carrying guns and all of this stuff. Like, he lied about being a bad person when he was really a good person. And people do that, and that's real. People really do that in real life. They really have great intentions, but in order to fit in, they gossip, or they stab people in the back, and they, just to fit in, or whatever the case may be. So find out the true nature of the person, not based on their words, but based on their actions. And it's hard. It's hard to have discernment, because people put on these faces and they wear them so well. They put on these masks and they wear them so well. It's up to you to have that discernment, and always give your best, because then once you give your best, you leave with no regrets. Because if you're not giving your 100% all, you're gonna leave. When the situation ends, you're gonna be like, damn, I should have done this, but I should have done this, I should have done that. You gave it your all, you chalk it up, write it off, drive into the sunset. It is what it is. He goes on to say, I love you for reading this, which I love you guys for listening. I said it plenty of times, man. I love you guys for listening. I hope you guys are learning something out of this, because this is not necessarily for you guys. It's for me, my future. And when I look back on this, I've told y'all the story on when I'm gonna look back on these videos, and I'm gonna be 100% solidified financially. Everything's gonna be perfect. Hopefully, I'm married with a wife. I'm gonna be flying my plane. Everything's gonna be perfect. Kids gonna be running around. I'm gonna look back like, damn, I went through some shit. I didn't necessarily go through anything, but something just clicked in me to just learn myself. And in order to stay consistent with it, in order to keep myself accountable, I decided to start dropping videos, start actually doing showing the work. Because if I was just journaling every day, I would have lost track. I would have not been able to do it. Now I have something that keeps me accountable, and it's not even about the views or anything like that. It keeps me accountable in terms of, all right, let me see my progress. Let me see from how I was from day one to day, whatever the case may be. And when I come across certain people in certain situations, I have something that I can refer them to. Instead of trying to talk to them and figure things out, I direct them to what I've been doing, to my journey. And my journey might not resonate with their journey, but it's something that they can use. All knowledge is useful whether you use it or not, because you can learn something and it'll stay in your brain. It'll stay in your brain. You learn it, it'll stay in your brain, and then when a situation comes to where you got to use that information, you use the information. Or you could take some of the lessons from my life and know what not to do, so you don't end up in the situations that I've been in. So you can learn from every situation. He goes on to say, this is the last little bit. He goes on to say, but I have no intentions of shielding you from the pain that life brings you. It's essential. We learn the best. We learn the best the hard way, unfortunately. But the next time you go through it, at the very least, you'll remember these words. It's facts. The next time you're going through some shit, you're gonna remember the things that I said, or you're gonna remember the things that you read in the book. You know what I mean? The best time to read a self-help book or to listen to something that's motivational is when you don't need it. Is when you don't need it, because you build up that repertoire of tools to get you through the things when you need it. You know what I mean? You don't go and buy a drill when you're building a house. You buy the drill and you just have it around. So when it comes time to build that house, you already have the drill. Because if you go looking for the drill or the hammer when you need it, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be there. How many times have you been working on a project or doing something and it's like, all right, I ran out of glue. Then you got to go to the store and they don't have glue. You buy the glue when you need it. That's like people that they wait until the last minute to go back to school shopping. I was in a store the other day, and they had, not the other day, but in the beginning of the summer, and they had all this back to school stuff out already. All of it out already. And then I go back to that store and everything's sold out, and it's like 2 days before school. Now you struggling to try to get the equipment that you need. The best time to get what you need is when you don't need it. It's to prepare for the future. To prepare for the future. Know that things are gonna go wrong. And know that when things go wrong, you want to be able to get through them. So you get those tools and you prepare. And it's not necessarily a fear-based thing. It's just preparing yourself, getting that knowledge. I'm not going to fly a plane tomorrow. I'm not. But guess what? I'm getting all the knowledge. I'm reading the books on it. I'm doing everything. So when it comes time for me to go fly that plane, I already got the knowledge. I don't want to go and try to get that knowledge the day before I'm going to fly the plane, or the morning of. You get that knowledge, you build up. So that was it. That was episode 43. Fewer expectations, fewer disappointments. I hope y'all learned something. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. I hope y'all get it. If y'all have any disagreements, any agreements, leave it in the comments. I'm always welcome to comments. Like, comment, subscribe. If you stumbled upon this, subscribe. If you stumbled upon this, that means you definitely need it. And I'm glad it came to you now rather than later. So now you can start building up that repertoire, start building up that experience, start building up that knowledge. So when certain things start coming up in your life, you know how to handle it, or you know certain different ways to handle it. And then you might take a little bit of what I said, a little bit of what somebody else said, a little bit of your own experience, and mesh it together to create its own solution. That's it. That's all. So, like I said again, I can't read my quote because I'm recording on my phone, but I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna handwrite it and put it on my put it somewhere on my desk, and then I'll read it every day. It's literally one of my favorite quotes. I'll read it every day, and hopefully you guys, it resonates with you guys, and it starts to hit home that the pain that you're going through is just your body getting ready for better. And with that being said, I'm out. I'm about to probably upload this, go to sleep, chill. And I hope y'all learned something. That's it. I ain't even gonna waffle no more. I learned something. Episode 43. Yeah.